Hello and welcome to Movie the Needle, a podcast where a pair of amateurs haphazardly dissect a film that one of us likes and one, well, not so much. My name's Simon, and I'm in our shed with my good friend Carl, where usually we explain our opposing viewpoints and see whether we can movie the needle for one another. But this week, it's our first monthly retrospective episode, where we look back on the episodes released in the last month and discuss anything we missed, some listener feedback, and discuss some data. Top threes and classic collections ensue. It's the Movie the Needle May 2025 Retro.
You remember that episode where I was saying what a horrible misogynist I was?
Wait, you're going to have to narrow that one down.
Mm-hmm. It was in relation to my children's film habits.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I've been ragging on you for not steering your boy in the right direction.
I think it was Moulin Rouge episode.
Oh, so, okay. Well, was that'll be last week then?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yes.
No, hang on, it won't be, will it?
No, it will be.
No. Will it?
Will be, yeah.
No, it
Good.
won't.
Yeah.
Will it?
Yeah.
No.
100%.
Okay, it will be last week. Yeah, so I was taking the mick out of you for not steering your boy right in terms of films, whilst ignoring my own children on the basis that they are girls, because films are for boys. And it's worse than I realised, because you suggested that my wife could take the lead. And such is the extent of my apparently deeply ingrained misogyny, I completely ignored you.
Yeah. No.
As if like the very concept was ridiculous and didn't warrant consideration.
Women leading, taking the lead, never.
Yeah. So anyway, I sought to rescue that this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tell me how.
Well, I took the eldest aside and I said, you know, if you want to start watching some grown-up films, I think you're ready now. And she went, okay, maybe soon.
Enthusiasm, I like that.
Yeah. And then she went, well, not Jaws, though.
What?
And I was like, all right, okay. But, you know, I like some romance films, you know. To which she said, oh, no way. People kissing gives me the ick.
Oh,
Yeah.
surprising.
And I said, what if the romance was really good and it pulled you in? She said, nah, I like action films, films with shooting and fights.
Well, you like those too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where she's got that from, though, because in theory she hasn't seen any.
Well, you've got a whole catalogue of those that you can show her.
Yeah, there we go.
So
So
I'm going to push back
after
a little bit on the not educating Theo quite as much.
have you done some good stuff?
Well, no, but I had Will over this weekend with his family, and we were over dinner talking about we're watching the MCU movies, and once we get through those, that we'll start to go through some other stuff. And we were kind of listing off all of the things that I should have covered already. And I was pretty much
doing all right?
I was struggling to come up with
Indiana
much where I was
Jones
just
ones,
like,
haven't you?
exactly, yeah.
Done the Back to the Futures.
Yes, yeah, exactly. We just worked through some 80s stuff.
Done Jaws,
as well.
of course.
Done
Yeah.
Jaws, yeah. Jurassic Parks, they're all sorted.
Yeah, that's good too.
So,
yeah.
I thought we're not doing bad. There wasn't
No,
that
that's
many.
fair enough, yeah.
It was whether we were ready for an Austin Powers or a something
Oh,
such
could
as
be,
that.
it could be good,
So,
Austin Powers, yeah.
yeah, so that might be next.
Actually, I wonder
Maybe
if
the
I
Breakfast
like
Club
Austin
might get
Powers.
that in there.
Mm.
So yeah, I was a bit tricky where to go next with the plan, which is good because I've only got about 15 more Marvel films to show him first. So
Emmanuel in Space?
sure, yeah. By the time he's
Confessions of a Window Cleaner?
15.
Rita Sue and Bob 2, that gritty northern coming of age film that I told you about.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm only an adopted northerner. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah. Please don't show him Rita Sue and Bob 2.
Also having...
It's very important he discovers that on his own.
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, it would be strange. Having Will over and his family, it's been great this weekend, right? The best thing is that they've got 2 young kids, which is always fantastic because it really reiterates to Theo how happy he is being an only child. Nothing to do with Will's kids specifically. They're both great. But you could just...
This is like when I said I hate other people's kids.
But you just catch Theo having that face of, I have to deal with this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
On his
You're on
face
my
just a few
turf. What's
times.
going
It's
on here?
just like almost just rolling his eyes, just like, oh, children.
Yeah.
He literally referred to like kids and things like
Yeah,
that.
as
like
if he
was
wasn't
one of the adults.
Yeah.
But that was good stuff.
Oh, very good.
You been getting up to anything at this wet bank holiday weekend?
Oh, mate, we've been very busy this weekend. So some stuff which I'll talk about on another pod, but kicked off in terrible fashion, had a bit of a plumbing emergency.
urination or
which meant
pipes?
a lot of work in the garden over the past couple of days. Firstly, ripping it apart and then putting it back together. Sadly, no algorithm fodder. So
we went elbow deep.
No, we believe block toilets to be the key. We believe block toilets the algorithm favours. No, I'm afraid not. None of that. So we move, but so there was that, and then some other stuff. A bit of watching some sport, that was nice. Getting to laugh at Chris Wilder's face as Sheffield United didn't get promoted. Enjoyed that. Just generally a busy one. Had time to get a bit tired.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on Friday, did my usual few pints at the cricket club whilst Theo was doing his training, because I'm a very supportive father.
Yeah. You're putting the hours in.
Yeah. But then when I got back, I looked at my phone and I had a message from a friend and it just said, pint. It wasn't a question mark.
No, just an instruction.
Pint.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit, that's like a bat signal.
Yes.
Like someone needs me.
Yeah.
In an Uber, straight there. Paradise.
Oh, yeah, you messaged me about Paradise. So I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, had some nachos, had some tacos.
What's Paradise?
A few nice beers. Well, if you get in with the theme, there's beer, there's Mexican food.
All right, yeah, but where is it?
By the car park, Jubilee car park.
The Jubilee car park, right. Okay.
Yeah, little place. Used to be next to Coldbath Brewing Company, but they moved.
Oh, okay, right.
But anyway, went there. Friend buys me a tequila.
Mm. Do you do the whole slammer thing?
Well, this is the thing. It was served not with the usual salt and whatever, right? It was served with another shot of green stuff, which was like ground. It was like blended coriander and
this is some hipster thing.
Something and something. Yeah. So had that. I was just I don't know. Actually, pretty effective. I mean, it definitely takes the taste of the tequila away from your mouth, but
just suck on a lime like you used to.
Well, exactly. This is the thing. It's a bit less aesthetically pleasing, I guess, of the the trio of things that you do. Well, in my case, usually 4 things, because the fourth is usually gag. But take the shot, do the lemon, have the salt. I forget which order it is because I don't often
salt first.
Often do it. But yeah, it's that was an experience. But of course, Will and family were coming, so I needed to then rush back just in time, not in time, for them to arrive. And I couldn't let guests arrive.
Well, you were on a roll then, weren't you?
I couldn't let guests arrive and just like, oh, do you want a beer? Because I'm done. That doesn't happen like that. So I had to carry on.
Yeah, you're in the zone at that point.
Yeah, which did mean that Saturday at Brimham Rocks, I was a little bit actually tired because of feeling not
tired
100%.
and tired.
I did find a nice little cave just to lie down in for a little bit. The kids did find me though, unfortunately. So didn't last long.
Good.
Yeah, but you managed to get sleepy as well.
Yeah, nothing fancy.
The usual.
Little bit sleepy here and there.
One final thing for me, Carl. This is the last episode recording and released before I turn 40.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I don't care. I'm just pointing it out.
Recording, released, but recording
and released.
Is it recording?
Oh well, I suppose.
Oh no, wait. I'm thinking of my birthday. You're born before me.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No,
and also, we are recording another one straight after this, so not strictly.
Still not true.
Last recording day.
Okay,
Let's say that.
Yeah.
But it did get me thinking: how are milestone birthdays decided nowadays?
Oh, I don't care.
But just going back to like, it used to be like when you were like 13, was it? Or like 15? 16? Is 16 a thing anymore? 18? 21? Can't do anything at 21. Why is 21 a thing?
No, it's not. I mean, it was 18, wasn't it?
And then it's just every 10 years. Obvious. It's just every 10 years, because why not?
No, I've never not bothered. Yeah.
No.
People keep asking me, it's your 40th this year, isn't it? Yeah. You do anything for it? No.
But feel free to buy me a big gift, though.
And you can sense the disappointment, because that's like, well, this is a conversation that usually goes somewhere. What's that? Why have you just shot that down? It's because I don't care, mate. Ask me a more interesting question than the arbitrary number that I turned this year.
Indeed. Right. You watched any films?
Yes, but we're not doing that.
Oh, yeah, good point. I remember now. I should have led with, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing this week, because this is new, so this could be fun.
Firstly, why is that any different?
Fair point. At least I usually know what's the order things go in.
Yeah, that's true. Secondly, it will become evident, I'm sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we did say what we're going to do is list our top 3 films that we've watched this month,
In
excluding ones we've watched for the podcast, as in podcast episodes that we have had. So, Carl, have you numbered these, or are they just 3 best?
Yeah, I've numbered them.
Okay, well, what's your number 3 then?
My number 3 is Only Angels Have Wings.
Okay.
Which was the Cary Grant film.
Yeah.
1930 something, I think. Yeah, really good. Easy to see why it was so revered. Really enjoyed watching it as well. Just very, very watchable film. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Eyes Wide Shut. Now, I was
Kubrick the Charlatan.
I was a little bit undecided about Eyes Wide Shut. It took me a while to process it and actually decide how much I did enjoy it, like it, think it was good. I've come to the conclusion that I do think it is quite good. And I've not actually watched that many films in May that haven't been for the podcast. So even if I didn't think it was very good, it probably would have nearly made the top 3 anyway.
Damning with faint praise then.
But I'll go for my number 2. Okay, my number 2 is Captain America Civil War, which I know you like, Marvel shite, as you would say. Marvel bobbins.
Have I ever actually said Marvel shite? Like that specific phrase? I don't.
Someone will check the catalogue.
Yeah. I mean, it is what I think, right? I'm not rallying against that. I'm just annoyed with you putting words in my mouth.
Sure. But yeah, that's a great example of MCU movie in the Infinity Saga where it's bringing all these characters together and doing it very effectively. So, what's your number 2, Carl?
My number 2 is Rear Window.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I did like Rear Window when I watched it. I haven't watched it since I watched it, if you know what I mean.
I haven't watched it since you watched it. Do you know, funnily enough, neither have I.
Weird.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, I did watch it.
Have watched it since you watched
quite
it.
Recently, but I haven't watched it since I watched
probably
it.
applies to every film, you would say.
Yeah. Unless you're watching a film.
At the time of saying
have you watched something you're watching?
We've watched some of it, I suppose.
I've watched that bit since I watched it.
True.
Yeah. It's all over the place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, great. I mean, I think everybody's familiar with Rear Window.
Is it as good as the Simpsons episode?
It's a great episode.
With Bart with a broken leg.
Yeah, it's a really great episode.
Was it swimming pool? That's the swimming pool, isn't it? Yeah,
the Simpsons really know their stuff when it comes to films, don't they?
Oh, they do. That's where most of my film knowledge comes from.
Yeah. Rear Window, brilliant.
And your number 1?
My number 1 is Mission Impossible.
Oh, the first mission. I was waiting for the bit to follow. It was just like just Mission Impossible.
It's always been my favourite Mission Impossible, but I didn't realise quite how good it is until I rewatched it. Fantastic all around.
I would prefer it if you said it Mission : Impossible, just because then it just gets
it's like
me
a
thinking,
7 and then, isn't it?
Like, a little bit. Mission : Impossible. It's like,
yeah.
Now there's a film.
Yeah. So, which way's that going?
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
So my number 1 is.
I think you'd have to go grammatically correct. You'd be challenge : accepted. There, isn't it?
There we go.
Yeah. Is that right?
Sure. I've never really understood colons and semicolons though. So.
Semicolon is supposed to be used as a break, but where you could have said it as a sentence anyway, so it still makes sense. Colon.
I just say yes whenever a word says.
I like to use a dash. just I'm going to sidestep the colon issue. Just use a dash. No one reads it anyway, and no one cares.
It's fine. So my number 1 is Fruitvale Station. So
Fruitvale Station.
Ryan Coogler.
Oh yes, you were saying about this.
Yeah, really, really good. Made me cry. Very powerful, very emotional, very recommended, and also our
very
25.
Recommended.
Yes, shut up. I was trying to finish my very, and I shouldn't. I was going to go very short. I thought it's not very short. An hour 25. It's quite short.
It's relatively very short.
It's relatively recommended.
Relatively recommended.
I would recommend it. You should go see it. You should watch it.
I should go see it.
Well, you should try.
Where's it showing?
Sure. I mean, I'm sure it's showing somewhere. You should travel.
Yes,
that's what you should do.
All right.
I clearly need some beer because I can't talk properly.
Yes.
So would you please unveil the ale?
So this is a bit of a look back. So I'm harking back a bit to, I think, probably the first beer we discussed on the podcast. It wasn't the first one we drank on the podcast, but it was the first one that we discussed, and we drank it fairly soon afterwards. And you know what? I think we've even had it again since. But I can't be in a position to buy this beer and then not buy one.
Is it Guinness Export?
It's Guinness Foreign Extra.
Oh.
So we've got Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, the Nigerian version.
Yeah, damn right.
Get stuck in.
This is obviously talked about on our Blood Diamond episode in detail, and I think maybe even
that would be
mentioned
episode
in
2, was it?
Yeah. I mean, do check it out, but please just be kind to us. It was only our second time. I mean, we did record it twice, but still.
Oh, yeah, I think we've made much worse episodes than Blood Diamond one.
Mm-hmm. Let's not list them. We'll do that top
I've
three.
no glass for you, so you're going to have to, like Leo in Blood Diamond, swig it out of the bottle.
Excellent.
And imagine you're somewhere else.
Sure, I'll do that. Cheers. All right, so this is how this retro is going to work this time. It may change. We are going to talk about 3 of the movies that were released in the month of May. They are 2001, A Space Odyssey. Another one, which I can't remember.
Bullet Train.
And, of course...
Of course, what, Simon?
Sinners.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Sinners as well. So, although Moulin Rouge was released in May, it's only been out a few days.
There's no time for it to bed in.
Exactly. It needs to ferment and do those things that alcohol does to make it taste better before we can talk about it. So, just covering those 3, we're going to go through what we thought of it originally, just very briefly, as in like where our on the simple 5-point scale we were.
Simple 5-point scale.
Yeah, whether the needle was moved as part of the episode. And then we're going to go into some listener feedback, plus any lingering thoughts that we had before tackling the data section for each. And, you know, there might be a little game thrown in there just to break things up a little bit as well.
What a treat. So that's a nice surprise.
Okay, let's start with 2001, A Space Odyssey. So this was one that we said was overrated. So we were both coming at this, not saying that it was bad, not saying that we didn't necessarily like it, but that we thought that it was overrated.
Yeah, the context this is, it regularly appears on the top 100 films of all time, and there's a certain audience that this has, where if it's mentioned, it is held in ridiculously high regard.
Indeed.
And we were examining that claim a little bit, weren't we?
So my initial position was that I was ambivalent on our simple 5-point scale. Just a reminder of our simple 5-point scale in case you're new to the pod. You either really like it, you're ambivalent, you don't like it, or you really don't like it. And Carl, where were you on the
I was a like.
You were a like. Yeah, so you can like it, but still think it's overrated. That's fine. Where did you end, Carl?
I stayed with like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I did stay ambivalent.
You had the thing, though, didn't you, where you really enjoyed the sort of experience of talking about it afterwards and exploring
researching
it like that.
And reading about it, talking about it. I did find parts of the movie to really quite drag and not love it. But the middle section was pretty fantastic, though. So maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on the ambivalent, but that's where I was. So there was no needle move, mainly because we weren't actually trying to move each other's needles. We may have convinced other people of that. Who knows? Let's find out. Did you have any listener feedback that you wanted to highlight?
No, on 2001, no. I mean, a couple of people that I did speak to about it haven't seen it. And I do think that speaks to a little bit how the sort of clamour for this film does outstrip the reality of how many people actually have watched and enjoyed it.
Do you think it is one of those movies where you can correctly say, you haven't seen 2001 A Space Odyssey?
No, I know. I mean, I haven't seen it until last year.
Do you think it should be one that people watch, though?
Oh, I think they should watch it. I think
it's important.
It's pretty seminal. Well, is it seminal? Look, I don't
influential.
know. I don't know enough about this film history like this. It probably is influential, but it definitely had an impact on pop culture, right? Because it pops up in things like Simpsons. We've already mentioned The Simpsons.
Yep, One Foot in the Grave, as I mentioned.
And I love watching films like that, and you go, that's where that reference comes from. So, yeah, I guess it's important in that regard. And
so some feedback we did have from Will, he thought we were both being really harsh on the movie. I didn't think we actually were that harsh. We pointed out a lot of positives. He did say that our criticisms are not invalid, and he was enjoying the conversation that we're having.
It feels like there's a book coming here.
But the sheer quality of what is on screen, he thinks compensates for those few shortcomings that we said, which is namely the ending part and the fact of how open it maybe was to not just the ending, but generally.
Allow me to take that head on.
Go for it.
First of all, what was the words you just used there? The few what shortcomings?
That was it. Compensates for those.
For those what?
Shortcomings.
You didn't say shortcomings though. You qualified that.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't write it down. That was just my.
Okay. Well, this is it's no good. If I'm gonna attack your words and not his, that's not gonna work, is it? I'm gonna go off on one, and he'll go. I didn't actually say that. Simon's misquoted me there.
You've seen Will's emails; they are quite long. I can't write everything that.
The point I was going to make was
pull out the key points.
Shortcomings. Don't belittle them because they were fundamental shortcomings. We're talking about the plot. We're talking about a whole act, and also the final act as well, which very often films live and die on.
Oh, going to come back to that with Sinners.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think that it's quite right to say it only has a few shortcomings, and if you're balancing them, well, maybe it does only have a few. They are not small.
Okay.
So if you're balancing that against some of the wonderful stuff that's on screen, brilliant.
He does say that from a technical production standpoint, it has maybe never been bettered.
I think we wouldn't necessarily argue with that. We both admired it very much. Which brings me on to the other point is it looks amazing. Is that enough? And that's the point we were exploring.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we were like, probably not. I would only recommend this to people who I thought had a predisposition to liking that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think most people would watch it and go, oh, it's boring. And I think they'd be right. It's not how I enjoyed it, but it's hard to argue against them when there's nothing else there. So
yeah, you can definitely see the point.
There you go.
He does say that the open story part does ask some interesting questions, such as, well, doesn't ask them, leaves those questions to be asked.
It leaves you to find them, to ask them.
Such as, is the monolith guiding humanity, or is it merely a signal that they are following? Does it teach the apes how to use the weapons, or is it just observing as they are there?
Which is interesting, but I didn't find them particular questions to ask. Kubrick didn't put them on screen because he's not interested in throwing those out there either. But no, I mean, and look, the way he's gone in on those questions is exactly the same way I went in. I just went on different questions. So, yeah.
And then last couple of other bits more generally about things we were talking in the episode. So intermissions. He said, bring those back, especially in cinemas. Let me go get a beer.
Yeah, 100%.
Is there a length of film that we feel like an intermission should be introduced for, but not needed for something which is under what would be the cut-off?
You'll like this. Right. It depends. In true moving the needle style, when faced with these questions, you want a straight answer, did you? Sorry, it depends. It's more about flow and pacing, right?
Yes.
So I would quite happily, hour and a half movie, if an intermission made sense and didn't wreck the film, I want to go get a beer for a 90-minute movie. There's nothing wrong with that.
It would need to be a break in the film at such a point where it wasn't like an advert that comes on a movie that's on ITV, where it's just like, oh, you're in the middle of
you can't do that. Yeah. So if you're not breaking the flow up, any length, short as you want, just somewhere near the middle.
How long should an intermission be?
Well, it depends on the establishment.
Yeah, how long does it take you to get up, maybe go to the toilet if you need to, get a beer, come back?
10 minutes should be enough, shouldn't it?
Oh, that seems too long, though. I reckon, 10 minutes? That's a long time.
It's usually that at
theatre's like 15 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah. 10, yeah. And I think longer films, you're just going to naturally find a convenient break. But yeah, it's not so much about length; it's about pace and flow. I would say, if you can get it in,
that's what she said.
Get it in.
Indeed, we're right there, Carl. Well,
I wasn't even thinking about the sex joke.
Literally, you even doubled down.
It's just right there. It dominates my every thought. I don't know what to tell you.
The other thing, just to finish on, that he'd seen an interview with Duncan Jones, director of Moon, about Moon, and he was asked if 2001 was a big influence. and he said that he felt he was actually inspired by creators who were inspired by 2001 himself. So not actually directly inspired, but he's inspired by people who were inspired by that. So stuff like Outland.
Yeah, not seen it.
Sean Connery. You would love it.
Just Sean Connery.
Yeah, directed by Philip, clearly says Peter. Peter Hyams, who also directed Time Cop.
Oh, yeah, great film.
Yeah. And other films that would have been influenced, such as Star Wars, maybe, as well. Peter Hyams, also, this is moving on to my lingering thoughts now, because I had a quick Google of Peter Hyams and went, do I know what he's done? Peter Hyams also directed 2010, The Year We Make Contact, a direct sequel to 2001, A Space Odyssey, from 1984.
Did you mention this on the pod?
No, this is the thing. So I mentioned the fact that they were going to make a sequel, but I don't think I actually talked about a sequel that was made. I didn't realize they actually had made one. How did I miss this? It stars Roy Scheider.
Oh, yeah, Brody.
Who, by the way, I've been calling Schneider forever.
No, you're a fool.
Yeah. First time today I read it, I was like, they've missed in and out.
Yeah.
Idiots.
The idiots.
I was like, oh no, it is Schneider. I've been saying it wrong forever.
Yeah, that's an Ellis Island job if ever I've heard.
We talked about Jaws. I was calling him Schneider throughout the episode.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. It also stars John Lithgow and Helen Mirren. And also Douglas Rain as Hal 9000 in that.
Oh, he's back.
So it is a direct thing. It even has same character. Roy Scheider plays, who was the initial scientist guy who...
Oh, I can't remember his name now.
That guy.
Yeah.
Or at least he's got the same surname, unless he's playing like a son of someone, but I think it is actually just him.
Hey, he'd be a pretty good fit for that guy as well. Talking about recasting.
Yeah. Well, they did. There you go.
Yeah, I concur. Yeah. They did a good job.
So I'm not sure how that didn't come up in the episode, but I probably would have watched it as part of that preparation had I been aware of it.
You can go back and...
Because a couple of things I read were like, it actually helps to explain some of
yeah, but is that not going to be in contradiction to what Kubrick wanted to do?
Well, yeah, but he's dead, so who cares?
Well, yeah. No, look, ultimately, I'm sort of in this, and I like it, and I still like it. It's the question of we were rallying against the rating and how good it is, and I just still don't think it's as good as everyone says it is because it's not done enough on plot. It's the best films of all time thing. I can't get on board with that, and I recognise that, like, because I think most people will likely go, like I said, well, what the fuck's all that about? Which is a bit of a contradiction because I'm saying, on one hand, it's not as good as everyone says it is, and then I'm following that up by going, I think most people will watch it and say it's boring as fuck. Like, what? But I get, like I hinted at earlier, I think you've got to differentiate between the sorts of people that will watch and then go on to public forums to log and rate films, sorts of things that can drive these algorithms, and critics. I think we were arguing against the critic thing. And then the public, the general public at large, they're different groups. Tie myself in knots a bit here as well, because I think we should be very careful about extolling the virtues of public opinion, because the general public have shown time and time again they can't be trusted.
Yeah, absolute morons.
Yeah, I mean, whoever thought democracy was a good idea wasn't thinking it through. Everyone gets a vote. Oh, brilliant. Have you met everyone? Have you seen who everyone is? So I don't know, pick through that. I don't know what point I'm making. In many ways, it's more confusing than the film. Does that make it good or shit? You decide. I don't know.
You got any other thoughts on... No, cool. So, quick run through the data. We did cover this in the episode. So we'll just crack through it. Quick, abbreviated version. What was your rating for this in the end when you letterboxed it?
2.5.
2.5. So I went 3. And again, it was me separating that enjoyment from appreciation. Yeah. I was just like, 3.
It's fair.
We were talking about it's just in the top 100 IMDb, number 98, with an 8.3 rating. Letterboxd 4.3, pretty much some of the highest you see. I think maybe we've seen 4.4. I think that was about.
Was Whiplash 4.4, or was that 4.3 as well?
Metascore of 84, so critics obviously largely positive about it. And it only won 1 Oscar. Kubrick's one and only Oscar that he's ever won, which was for special effects, which beat out Ice Station Zebra.
Good film.
Or Zebra.
Yeah, we couldn't decide on the episode.
Rewatchability, Carl.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, mine was
it's such a slog.
Yeah, mine was a no. The more I've thought about it, though, I'm thinking maybe it's probably a meh. Because I may watch that
Mm-hmm.
again to reappraise in the future.
Yeah, it's just kind of eating away at you.
It is a little
isn't it?
bit.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's another watch in there
Yeah.
coming up. So, yeah. Best scene, Carl. What was your
Mine
best
was the
scene?
ape smashing the skull with the bones. Some of these space scenes are fantastic, but the ape smashing the scene was, I thought, the one that fit best with the classical music. It was superb scene.
Yeah, great use of the classical music. So mine was just the walking around Discovery on that cylindrical set, which was just a technical masterpiece of doing it. And as I was watching it, I was even going, like, how'd they do that then? How'd they do that? And I think it's just a fantastic visual part of it. Best quote.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
So mine's also how, Dave, this conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
That's a good one. I really like that one. Yeah.
And favourite character?
Hal 9000.
It's the Hal.
Yeah. Brilliant.
The Halster.
Brilliant voice. Halster. Oh, nice.
Okay, Carl. Do you want to take a quick pause and then I'm going to unveil a game for you? Okay, so as a clue, Carl, of the game we're going to play, I'm going to play the theme song to you, and I think you're gonna like it. We all know Carl loves films with submarines.
I do love films with submarines.
Films with submarines. So there we go. This game is called What's Long, Hard and Full of Semen?
Yay!
So this is going to be a blind ranking of submarine films.
Oh, finally.
That the people, and by people I mean Carl, have been asking for weeks.
It was your idea first.
It was my idea.
But you teased me with it, and I have been salivating ever since.
It's got messy. But here we go. Everyone know how blind rankings work? Don't need to explain it, do I?
Yeah.
The kids know.
Yeah, the kids definitely know.
I mean, I only recently discovered it, but hey ho. Okay, so I'm going to say a film, Carl. You're going to rank it 1 to 10. You don't know what's coming next.
And you've only got 10. You're not going to fuck me over.
10. No,
right.
no.
Okay.
Well, that's not true, right? So I have got 11 because I'm not sure if you would have seen one of them. So I've just got an alternate to swap in there if you haven't.
Yeah. Just so you know, on the internet,
I don't care.
that happens, and people just go, "I've not seen it, so I'm going to put it at the bottom."
Oh, fine. Then you can do that.
Yeah.
If you've not already used the bottom one for that.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Okay. Film number 1, Carl.
Yeah.
U571.
John Bon Jovi, Harvey Keitel. It's been a while since I've seen that one. Thinking about what else is out there. I'm going to slot that one in. Oh no, I've gone too high before on a film. Will I go 7? Will I go 8? Let's 8 leaves 2 slots. Let's go 8.
Number 8, U571. Okay, next one, Hunter Killer.
Oh God, that's terrible. Jerry Butler. I've gone too low with U571 here. There can't be a worse one out there than Hunter Killer. I mean, it's kind of fun at that, but by God, there might be a worse one out there than Hunter Killer. No, let's go Hunter Killer 10.
10, okay. Crimson Tide.
Ah, now we're talking. Oh yes, Denzel, the big dog, Gene Hackman, lovely.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be pretty high, surely.
Fuck, it could be number 1 now,
Ooh.
Let's go. I mean, how old will you have gone? You don't know that old films exist.
I don't know any of these films, Carl.
No, okay, so let's go 3.
Okay, number 3. Okay. Next up is Run Silent, Run Deep.
Yeah, watched that recently. That's Clark Gable and Burt Lancaster.
If you say so, you would know.
That is. Let's slot that. It's not. That's a number 7. That's a number 7.
It's a 7. It's a 7. Okay, you used 3, 7, 8, and 10. Okay, next is Das Boot.
There are a lot of different versions of this.
Yes, it's true. I am not specifying which. You can pick your favourite or least favourite, depending on where you want to slot it in.
Yeah, I think it's like a 4-hour version. Which I might have seen as a kid, but most recently I watched there was an 1.5-hour cut. Pretty good. Gonna go number 4.
Number 4, okay. The Hunt for Red October.
I think it's number 1.
It's gone number 1. Okay, October. That's what I expected. That's fine. Yep. Ice Station Zebra.
Yeah. We slotted Das Boat in at number 4.
2, 5, 6, and 9 you've got left.
5.
5. Okay. Black Sea.
Jude Law, yeah. Ben Mendelsohn. And bizarrely, David Duchovny.
Yes, I remember you talking about this.
Yeah. It's slept on, that one. That's some really good acting in there. I don't think I can put it 2, so we're going to have to go 6.
6, okay. And we've got K19, The Widowmaker.
See, I would have preferred to swap K19 and Crimson Tide. But we are where we are. That's blind rankings for you.
Yep.
Number 2 for K19.
Number 2, which means that your number 9 is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, that's... do you know what?
Happy with that?
There's a couple... I'd swap a couple just here and there. No big moves. Very happy with that.
Okay, so Hunt for Red October, number 1. We've got K19, A Widowmaker, number 2. Crimson Tide, number 3. Das Boot, number 4. Ice Station Zebra, number 5. Black Sea, number 6. Run Silent Run Deep, number 7. U571, number 8. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, number 9. And Hunter Killer, number 10.
It's a great list. Big pat on the back for myself there. It's a great list.
Well done. The one I was going to put in, which I decided not to, was The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
I've only seen half of it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure you were going to have seen it. So I know you've seen Run Silent Run.
I did start it recently, and it's just so Wes.
Yeah. I saw that at the cinema, but I was a student.
Oh, God.
And I was just like, no, don't get it.
You insufferable prick for even going to see it. No, that's a bit harsh.
I think the cinema literally costs $1.99 when you're a student.
Yeah.
Like, what else are you going to do? There's only so much time you spend wanking.
Look, I love that, and I'm pretty psyched about it. And I'm also a little sad that we'll never get to do it again.
Well, maybe there's plenty more submarine films in the sea.
We've used all the best ones, haven't we, there?
Okay, well, we'll move on to Sinners now, which is not set on a submarine, so I'm sorry.
Interesting. Sinners dropped after Bullet Train, but no, that's fine. We'll do that in that order.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right. Sinners.
Do you want to go to Bullet Train?
No, Sinners is fine.
I did say at the start, I don't know what I'm doing. One of us has got to move our list up and down here to
no, it's fine. I'm there. I'm at Sinners.
Great. Well, let's go with Sinners because I'm just doing like you like to do. Go number 1, number 3, number 2.
I love going out of order.
Yeah. Okay, so I initially liked Sinners. This was my like when we saw it. Where were you, Carl?
I was ambivalent.
Which I thought was seemed a little harsh based on what you've been.
I did qualify that by saying this is going to sound like a lie for a lot of this podcast, but I am ambivalent.
Indeed. You got any listener feedback you want to share on this one?
So I had some feedback from a listener. He knows who he is. That agreed with a lot of what we had to say on the episode.
Good.
But a sort of a point that he strike against the film for him. He felt that it was actually trying to do a bit too much and dealing with too many issues. And he mentioned that he thought the vampires were a bit on the nose to symbolise cultural appropriation, literally sucking them dry, sort of thing.
Oh.
Now, I don't agree that the vampires were there to represent that. I thought they actually weren't the straight-up villains. I think a lot of what was represented on the screen and dialogue and the tone of it and things were a shared struggle, which Coogler has commented on and backs up himself. So the cultural appropriation angle didn't occur to me at all. However, when I was talking to said listener about this, we had a little Google, and it seems that a lot of people have seen it that way.
Okay.
Now, I should say this, in that Google, we couldn't find anything that Coogler had said to back this up. We found one...
As I've said before, though, Carl, directors don't know what they're talking about.
You have said this. We found sort of one nebulous comment about him talking directly about what the vampires represented, and he was talking about, like, living in the moment or something like that. So... Okay, mate. But today I did find a massive long interview with him getting very excited, talking about the vampires and Remick in particular as a villain. And again, just backed up that they were all about this shared struggle and not actually about the sort of cultural appropriation element at all. But as I say, lots of people from... newspaper columnists to movie review sites and all the rest of it, and therefore, because of that, as a result, the fucking AI snippet you Google that comes up, right, have gone really hard on the cultural appropriation angle. They've really, as a positive,
they really liked it. Then
they're selling it as a positive. They're going like, oh, it's brilliant how he's exploring this as well and everything. Also, as an aside, theface.com called an anti-capitalist vampire movie. Anti-capitalist, you get that?
No, but I don't get anything.
Well, listen, I'm as ready to talk ill about capitalism as the next man, but you choose your battles, don't you?
Yeah. You can shoehorn anything in if you really want to.
Well, they tried the face.com, but anyway. Yeah, so I sort of found it interesting that so many people have gone for that angle, because I did not get that at all, and I don't think it's there. Does that matter? Is that good? Is that bad? You think that he shouldn't have left that sort of wiggle room in if that's not the story he was intending to tell?
It's what movies are all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
That happens. You can read subtext into a lot of different things, and that's why I say just because a director wants that to say it doesn't mean that's necessarily what it's people who are going to interpret it to be.
But then on the other hand, that's the kind of thing that we would say against 2001 for not having that clarity of storytelling.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, ultimately, where I sit is I think they're all wrong. I don't.
Comfortable with it.
Yeah, I don't think Coogler was doing that, but I did find it interesting that so many people had gone off with that message. And then you get into like, well, does that matter? Don't know. So that was interesting. So yeah, bit of like I say, mostly agreed with a lot of the things we were saying. Didn't like the vampires.
So on that, didn't like the vampires. Bit of feedback was that if Sinners didn't do vampires, what should it have done, Carl?
You see, I'm happy with this. It should have just gone for the Irish and Italian mobs,
the mob thing,
coming to hunt them down, because the vampires to me only served as a sort of simile for they have been oppressed and they are trying to escape various forms of oppression, and they just keep finding a different one, and they can never outrun that. And so they think they've got ahead, but that's just coming for them in that form. So I think the vampires.
So you think you get the Irish coming, you get the Italians coming, you get the KKK coming, and they all have a big shootout.
Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly how to done it, but it's why I was comfortable with the KKK sort of shootout at the end. It was like that was him at least being able to vanquish that bit of oppression that had ruined their lives in that area, or affected their lives in that area. So it would have worked for me as a straight sort of more mob thriller.
So
and had the same message, crucially, I think.
Feedback from Will was that, well, the mob thing, that's already been done. The KKK thing,
true.
It's already been done. My argument for that is, well, the vampires thing has already been done. So, same argument for that.
I guess
suppose.
so. It's the crossover, the vampires in that world, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, I mean, yes, it's already been done. I don't know of a mob film that has Coogler's sort of panache on it in terms of the musical and the soul that he managed to put into that film and the storytelling.
Yeah.
So, I take the point. That's a more conventional and therefore well-trodden route. But I'm fairly sure, having watched the first hour and 20 of the film or whatever it was, he could have delivered, another hour and 20, however straight down the line, just as well.
And you, regular listener Steve, agrees to a point that the vampire action stuff could have been better, which is one of our points that we made as well. That you can keep the vampires, but just do something a bit more different with it, a bit more unique style that you've kind of shown for the rest of it. But by that point, he was invested in loving the film. So you just kind of went with it. But he basically did say that he couldn't disagree with anything that either of us said. And he feels like he's getting to know you more with each listen, Carl.
I can only apologise.
A few other bits. So Will, again, coming back with that he had the same reaction to Delroy Lindo appearing as I did.
It's great, yeah.
It's Delroy fucking Lindo!
Yeah, it's great.
He did like the flash forward at the start, flash back at the start, depending on which way you want to look at it, as it makes you wonder why he's going back to the church with the broken guitar, and he thinks it's meant to make you think that his dad is the evil one and is behind all the vampires things, which I did not get at all.
No, I didn't either. No.
But apparently that's where he was going with it, and then
fair enough. I like the flash forward anyway because it set the tone for at least I know where this is headed now. This is a bit more supernatural than just going to blindside me with it.
And what about the main gripe being that the main vampire, so Remick, went out like a complete bitch? He basically just loses track of time and burns to death in sunlight.
Yeah.
So, come on, how long have you been doing this, guy?
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow.
That comes back to the vampire action being the weakest part of the film, doesn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts?
No, I mean, my own thoughts. I do think I've slightly overrated this.
Over?
Yeah.
Over?
Yeah. So I gave it 4.
Definitely. Oh, right. Yeah. Well, okay. Yep.
And I enjoyed lots of it and admired lots of it. I couldn't get over the vampires, as I say. It just hasn't stayed with me. And we've not had much luck together at the cinema on our date nights.
No, I couldn't get up the first time. You didn't bring a Johnny the second time. Yeah, it's just not going well.
And I think I maybe got a bit too excited for seeing some competence on screen.
You know what? I wish I'd done it the other way around, though. So
Yeah,
that you
right.
couldn't get up
Yeah,
the first
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And that I forgot the Johnny the second time. Because you know what I've done there? I've just kind of revealed something.
Yeah.
personal.
That's where your head's at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I've got slightly carried away. And yeah, it just hasn't stayed with me much, which we'll talk about a bit in rewatchability. But yeah, I don't know.
Just to be clear, I've got no problems. Okay, I'm just saying.
He has fathered a child. It worked at least once.
Yeah. And that's all that matters. So, how it's kind of left me, I'm a little bit opposite to you, I think, because I hadn't actually submitted a rating until very recently because I was still kind of waiting because also the episode had been out. And I was thinking it was going to be, I think originally it was maybe on the 3, maybe 3.5. I've actually rated it as a 4 because it has kind of stayed with me a little bit in just the quality of the stuff that has been put on screen and actually how important a film such as this is in terms of it is actually original, it is popular, and it's also good. Yeah. Which is actually quite uncommon.
I agree with that.
At the moment.
Like I say, and I think that's the thing that I've tapped into and gone, oh my God, it's
yeah. But I think it's actually recognizing the fact that although it's not a completely original premise because we've talked about From Dusk Till Dawn and things like that. But as you say, that in that world and how well they've done that world, it got me thinking. Actually, no, come on, give credit where credit's due. I think it's I'm only maybe thinking, maybe I'll knock it down like half a star. Maybe I'm just sort of trying to normalize it against everything else, and I'm not. But yeah, I don't know. I think I got a little carried away with it. We talked about frustration at missing the post-credit scene, the second post-credit scene, and I actually wonder if we did see it because I now know what that is, where he sings "This Little Light of Mine." Did we see it
in the church? Well, we definitely saw him singing "This Little Light of Mine" at some point. They sang "This Little Light of Mine" because when that happened, I went, "Huh, it's a song from Grim Fandango." If you know, you know. I knew that was Chapito. So, unless they do that at some other point in the movie, we did see the second post-credit
scene. Did he walk and there was like a white church thing that he just walks into and does?
Yeah, and that's literally it. So,
maybe we have seen it.
So yeah, maybe
it was memorable then. Obviously, if we couldn't even remember seeing it.
Yeah, well, I remember the song. I just didn't remember when it fell. I guess so. Yeah. There we go.
Quick recap of some ratings and things like that. And so we've already said what our star was. So me 4, you were 4. You're maybe
4. I'm thinking maybe 3.5. I mean, I'll probably leave it at 4 because that's where it was. But for some reason, should I ever watch it again, I'd be surprised if it hits those heights again. Because I think I got a little carried away.
So Letterboxd, it's 4.2. IMDb 8.1.
Very close.
Yeah, very high. And a bet score of 84. So it's been very popular with the critics. Rewatchability, Carl, I think you said...
I said no, because I can't get past the vampires. I just can't imagine a world where I pop it on again. And as I say, I'm kind of solidified on that now because it hasn't really stayed with me. And
I think I would rewatch it, such as at home with Emma, because she's not seen it. I would happily rewatch it as part of that. So it's a yes from me. We didn't do quote and scene as part of this and
brand
characters,
new.
so brand new, kids. This isn't repetitive shite. Well, it will be, but there we go. Best quote, Carl. What have you got?
It's the confrontation with Stack and Cornbread when he's recruiting him. And he says, I can't come with you. Yeah, I've got my quota. And he goes, mate, fuck your quota. And then Cornbread goes, couple right here now, so I'm going to need you to show some respect. He goes, yeah, well, fuck your wife too. Which I love. Yeah, well, fuck your wife too. Stack to Cornbread then, yeah.
I'm not going to do the accent, but the line I had was Slim, so Delroy Lindo.
Oh, you took... yeah, go on.
No. So, see, white folks, they like the blues just fine. They just don't like the people who make it.
Yes. I thought you were going to go with, you'll smell anything?
Yeah, I shat myself.
I think I just shat myself.
No, there you go for that. Best scene, Carl. I've got 2 to pick from here.
Oh, it was the Irish folk song with them singing in the group of vampires.
Pretty good.
Superb.
Went for the musical angle.
Yeah, superb.
On brand. So there's 2 I couldn't decide between. So the first was the when he gets the girl to look after the truck outside. He goes in, and when he comes out, and you just see the fear and the respect and that they all have, and that he basically deals out justice because he knows what he needs to do in order to enforce that image. I did enjoy that. But the second one was just hearing the first time Preacher Boy sings in the
car.
Yeah, in the car, where you just see the reaction on Michael B. Jordan's face, where he's just like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a pretty memorable one for me. And best character,
Remick.
You like the Remick? Yeah. I like Slim, Delroy Lindo. Loving what he was doing. He was doing multiple things with that. I mean, when it comes to the vampire action thing, he's been maybe not in his element, but everything before that, I thought he was fantastic. All right, you got anything more on Sinners?
Nope.
All right. Okay, moving on to the second and final of our 3 films that we're going to cover today.
Very good.
So, where were you to start with, Carl, on this one?
I always don't like. What was it I really don't like?
No, I think you just said don't like.
Don't like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
I was a don't like.
Yeah. I was a like. I do like this film. Yes. Where did we end up?
I was unchanged, unmoved. Don't like still.
And I think I was also unchanged.
Yeah,
I think this was a dead rubber, as it were.
Yeah.
We shall not be moved.
No.
Steadfast in both of our opinions. Interesting though. Part of some listener feedback that we had, unrelated to the film itself, but I did mention in that episode about cheating on you and cheating on you hard.
Oh yeah.
With a friend, and Will, his complex is the wrong word for this thing. I didn't help myself. Was one of the first things I said to him, or when he came round at the weekend. I did call him Carl at one point. It's not going to go down. It didn't go down well. It was. You could see that. You could see the hurt in his eyes.
Oh dear.
But he did say
you're a bad person.
But I'm unintentionally bad, so that's okay.
Yeah.
So he sent a message say, so Carl got cheated on by Simon with a friend, went to the cinema, talked about films, went to a pub, drank beer. His date even picked up the tab. You see, Carl, I should be more sympathetic to you, but frankly, I tried to tell you the warning signs were there. Once a cheater, always a cheater, as Mummy says. He's a manonizer. He'll move on to Mike, then ditch him. Maybe we should form a support group, and then we can invite Mike in due course.
Yes, indeed.
But the only other feedback I really got was lots of positives about my inadvertent bluffing you on the train bridge of lies with the snakes on a train, snakes on a plane.
I did not like that.
Yeah, it did send you off somewhat off the deep end.
I did not like that at all. No. Right, let's move on from that before. So I spoke to a couple of listeners. They know who they are. And they both said that they hadn't seen Bullet Train and probably won't bother before listening to the episode, which is not normal. So usually if they haven't seen the film, they will go watch that first and then listen to the episode. And I do think, a sample size of 2, obviously, but I do think that speaks to both what a little impact this film has made and coming to it after the fact how unappealing it is when you read the sort of like synopsis and you look at it and stuff. And I think it speaks to a point I was trying to make on the pod about how this sort of stylized action film has had the time a bit now. I think they're definitely on the wane.
And I think it'll be interesting to see, spoiler alert, potentially, how this comes out in our new bracket movie tournament thing as well, because I do have a feeling it's not going to go very far in that very reason. Because although I liked it and quite enjoyed
It's
it,
fine. You can like shit films.
It's just when looking back, particularly over the 60 that we've done in this block.
We all like shit films.
And even the 3 that we've covered today, it's definitely the least.
Yeah. And as for my own personal thoughts about Bullet Train since this episode, I haven't thought about this at all. Which again speaks to what a great big ball of nothing it is. But I am extremely comfortable with not liking this.
I think that's fine. But I think again, we both covered both our angles pretty well on this one. I think to back up, well, I don't think it really backs up you, but Will was saying that he is fairly team Carl on this one, that he liked it, or he wanted to like it, but just didn't.
Yeah.
He likes the elements of it, but not the sum of it as well, which I think, again, it comes back to that thing of it's just one of those unmemorable films that isn't going to inspire people to watch it necessarily either. So I would say if you did watch it, you would probably be fine with it. Put it on a Friday. It's a little bit too long, but still, still you could have a little bit of fun with it if you need a bit of brain dead nonsense in your life.
It is a bit of a shame, given the cast, really, that it is done so little with it. But anyway, there we go.
How did you score it, Carl?
I scored it 1.5.
So, I mean, I brought this down. I was flirting with bringing it down to a 3, not because I liked it less, but just because objectively it's just not.
Yeah, there's not enough going on there.
Fantastic. So it's currently sitting at 3.5. Whether if I watch it for a 4th time when I get there, I might just slowly work its way down, but still liking it. Rewatchability. Where were you on the rewatchability?
I was a very no.
Yeah, I mean, I was again a yes, just for nonsense stuff that you can put on. I've watched it thrice. I may watch it. What's the 4th version?
Yeah, we had this. No, I can't remember.
Did we?
Yeah, we did the thrice something.
I'm really unoriginal. How do I not realise? I also don't remember anything we talk about.
Thrice plus 1, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thrice and again.
4ths. No. IMDb 7.3, Letterboxd 3.6.
I mean, that's
quite high.
IMDb 7.3. That is crazy.
Yeah, 3.6 Letterboxd is higher than I anticipated as well.
It is. I mean, 7.2, that's still too high.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally double 3.6 a bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Hang on, what did I say? Yeah, no.
7.3.
Yeah, sorry, no. You had me doubting my maths there for a minute.
No, it's fine. Yeah. They're fairly well correlated, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Metascore 49. We know the critics weren't necessarily enamoured with this. And no nominations in the old Academy Awards. We did cover our best scene, quote, and character, but just to quickly recap that, my best scene was playing with the Japanese toilet, but probably more so the quiet cart fight scene between Lemon and Ladybug, Brad Pitt's character, which I did enjoy the comedy of, and also the inventiveness of the fighting whilst sat down across a table from someone.
Fair enough. My best scene was Tangerine's death.
Because you're a sadist. Or a masochist. Whichever one. I don't know.
Well, if I was enjoying it, I think it'd be a sadist.
That's why I'm both, because I never know which one's which, so I just say I'm a sadomasochist.
I mean, you should get that right, because if you're ever in a situation where you need to answer that question,
I'm fine with each.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
I don't know I don't know what's happening at the time.
You're like, look, love, I will take anything.
Or do anything.
Or he.
Best quote. There were lots for me to choose from.
I didn't write the proper quote down. I just put Lemon's Diesel quote. And I think I can't remember which one, because there was a couple, but it was the one where he was basically deriding Diesel as a proper fucking wrong'un or something. Yeah,
which is true.
A total fucking wrong'un, I think. Something like that he said, which is true. Resonated, because I've always hated Diesel.
Mine, I think I came down to was eat a bag of dicks, lady. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. As he quickly backtracks. Yeah, there we go. And Lemon was my favourite character, and your favourite character was
Tangerine.
Okay. So, let's move on to... So what we were going to do here, Carl, was the best across the month. I don't think we need to do this. It's just repeating what we've just said. Do we really need to do this? Do you want to do it? Best quote, best scene, best character?
Yeah, well, let's just quickly run through it.
Go on then. Who would be your best?
Well, so first of all, the score for this month in terms of needle moves, nil, no moving all around. It's not a great month for it because there were a couple. There was a date night in there, and overrated. We had an overrated one. Well, it's possible we still could have had a bit of movement, whatever. As for the overall score for this sort of bracket, no, we're not prepared enough. But next retro, we will be prepared enough to have a running total for the scores.
This is a new format that we're trying, guys, so just bear with us.
The best character for me across the 3 films was Remick. I really enjoyed him.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got one? Or did you just not do it?
I didn't, but I'm going to say it's Hal.
Yeah, Hal was my second. Yeah, he was very iconic, but I really enjoyed Remick. The best scene for me, the ape smash scene out of 2001. I thought was brilliant.
Best quote for me is again the Hal one. Is just
My best quote was, "I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that too." Yeah. The highest rated film out of these 3 for me was Sinners, and will remain Sinners even if I do knock it down half a star.
Yeah, and same for me.
Now, my most rewatchable film, Jesus, this is hard because it was 3 no's for me for very different reasons. But I think something you said earlier on, that curiosity that kicks around when you talk about 2001, it's that. And that's the one I would go to.
Could you also watch it with someone who's not seen it before that you want to sort of bring along with you as well?
And it's also the sort of film I can see me putting on late at night, just when I just fancy putting something on, but not
drop some acid.
Even not necessarily fully paying attention to it, but it's that sort of film where you can just occasionally glance up and go, "Oh, fucking hell, yeah, that looks good," or whatever. So, it's 2001.
Yeah, I mean, I think realistically, the one I'm most likely to rewatch is Sinners because I know Emma will watch it at home, and I will probably watch it with her unless she watches it while I'm away. So that is probably the one I will rewatch most recent. That does make sense. Nearest in the future. In terms of ones that I'm probably most likely to rewatch most in the future, it's probably not going to be Bullet Train, even though it's one I've seen the most out of all of these.
You said you'd seen that a lot. Yeah,
I've seen it 3 times. So again, it's probably going to come back to 2001. That's going to be the one that you do rewatch more, and that'll probably be one I do show Theo in the future to get him on, see if he falls asleep. But yeah, that's where we are. Do you want to do a top 3?
Love to do a top 3.
So this is completely unrelated to anything, but we were just talking before. We were just like, what's some big actors that we've not really done? Yeah,
we like movies. I like movies. Do you like movies?
Yeah, movies are good.
Yeah,
big fan. So we decided to go with Morgan Freeman. Top 3 Morgan Freeman films.
What a dude!
So I will say, Morgan Freeman's an interesting one because he is primarily a supporting actor.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting one because, again, we're never quite sure what we're doing here, whether we're doing top 3 performances, top 3 movies that he's in, top 3 movies that he's in, and he is actually a fairly big part of.
We're just making it up as we go along.
Making up as we go along. So let's see how this goes. Any just missed outs or honourable mentions you want to shout?
We're just 2 idiots talking. So, I mean, look, I'm gonna list you the ones that I was considering, right? And you're right about him being primarily a supporting actor, but he leaves big marks on films, doesn't he? You never forget that he was in a film. Fantastic. The Dark Knight films.
Yeah.
Really good in those. Red.
Red. Yeah.
Yeah. Lucky Number 11.
Yeah, one of those I probably should rewatch because I watched that a long time ago. And...
The Alex Cross films. Along Came a Spider, Kiss the Girls. Sir Severin.
Yep.
Shawshank, of course. I mean, he's not the lead in Shawshank.
No.
But yeah.
Prominent part in it. And he's got the voiceover.
Yeah. So they were the ones that leapt out of his filmography. I mean, maybe if you're really stretching it, Bruce Almighty, Great Turner's God.
Oh yeah.
He plays presidents in a lot of stuff as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were the ones that were up for consideration. What about you?
So the ones that didn't make my top 3 were Now You See Me, which again is not a huge part of that film, but it's a fun film that I do quite enjoy.
The first one.
Yes, the first
one.
Yeah, The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, and Dark Knight Rises, and then one which might appear in your top 3. So I'm not going to say it yet. I'll come back to it if it doesn't appear. So, Carl, number 3.
Okay,
you?
my number 3, and I've actually gone with my sort of favourites here.
Yeah.
I've gone with S03E15. Now, S03E15 is probably got the highest rating of his films on my Letterboxd, but it's not the one I'd rewatch tomorrow. S03E15 is my number 3.
So S03E15 was one of the ones that I didn't mention here. It's obviously is it just missed out. Didn't make my top 3. He is very good in that as well.
Yeah.
He is probably better in that. He's more good in that than I like it.
He's more good.
Yep.
He's more good.
Yep. As in, his proportion of goodness is higher than my proportion of likeness if you were to put these in a weird
likeness
chart.
In that sense.
Yep. And my English ability is low.
Right. Good.
So I think he's better in that. No, wait, what am I trying to say? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
I think you just like him more than you like the film, right?
That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
Nailed it.
Right.
Why didn't you just say that?
Yeah, indeed. I could have saved us all this trouble, couldn't I? I can only apologise. So S03E15 just missed out.
Yeah. So I've similarly gone for film, and this is a proper guilty pleasure film that he is in.
Yeah.
That I watched a lot as a kid.
Okay.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, I don't love it. I have seen it.
I do enjoy that film a lot. And he appearing as the painted man.
Yes. Was this the one you were not going to say because it might appear in my top 3? Oh, okay. Interesting.
Why is this appear in your top 3?
No.
But no. And my number 2, you mentioned it already, Shawshank.
Yeah.
Is up there. Again, just what you said, he's such a prominent part of this film, even though he's not actually the main character in it. The voiceover is brilliant. I think the voiceover goes a long way to why this is like the number 1 film of all time and things on a lot of lists. It adds so much to it. What was your number 2?
Batman Begins.
I thought Batman Begins might make an appearance.
It's my favourite of the
he's probably in it the most of that as well.
Yeah, and I'm a sucker for an origin story. I love it. So Batman Begins is my number 2.
And my number 1 is $1 Million Baby, which again I've talked about when we talked about Clint. You've still not seen it? No. Oh, please watch it, because we might get to talk about this in more detail.
Okay.
Watch it. Okay. I think he is a tertiary character in this, but everything he does is just so good. And the film as a whole still just gets me every single time.
So that must be the one that you weren't going to mention because it might appear in my top 3.
No.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
what's your number 1?
Shawshank.
Oh, interesting. Unforgiven?
That's the one. No, not top 3.
No. I thought it might have. It
was good, but not top 3.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that was the other one. Yeah. So you went Shawshank.
Shawshank, because
when's the last time you saw Shawshank?
I watched it for the Oscar special that we did a few months ago.
Okay.
And I was ready to go into that, ready to shred it, because I was like, it appears so regularly and it's so highly rated, and I was ready to go, come on, let's not be basic bitches. It's fine, but let's not go crazy. And I watched it, and you go, oh god, yeah, it's not perfect's the wrong word, but like, it's very difficult to pick it apart for what it's going for. Yeah. So yeah, really enjoy it.
I really need to rewatch that, and I think I have it on like Blu-ray at home as well.
Yeah.
Nice easy watch.
It is. In some ways, it shouldn't be an easy watch, but we talked about this a little bit on the episode. But it plays it safe.
Is this age appropriate or is
no?
There's some raping.
Not quite.
Isn't there?
Yeah, there's a bit of raping. Yeah.
Maybe when he's 11.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? You've shown him things with like gore and mutilation and murder, but raping? Oh no.
There's a line.
Yeah.
A line just above the arsehole.
Yeah, so no, there we go. Shawshank.
Cool. Do you want to talk classics, Carl?
I love to talk classics.
Right. So, first of all, if you want to check out our list of classics so far, you really need to go look at the Letterboxd list now, because there's too many to read out.
Yeah, 32, I think.
Yeah.
I've got 7 on my version, so I need to update my version to match yours. because I nipped on to find them for this, in prep for this, and I was like, well, we can't look at mine. 32 compared to, wow, I am out of date.
Quite.
I am behind.
Because I think we've only been doing like 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 an episode. So
Yeah.
So do check those out. The point we should start at is any of the 3 that we've talked about, are they considered classics? The ones for today.
Yeah.
And I think really the only one that is even in contention, again, is the 2001.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, it's way too soon for Sinners and Bullet Train. They're not old enough. 2001, as we said on the episode, I'm not convinced it makes it because I think people talk about it more than will actually watch it. It's a bit of a slog, and I think it only appeals to a certain sort of person, of which I am one, and I like it. But classic for everyone? Nah, I don't.
So let's just revisit our criteria for classicdom for this one, okay? Quiet. Classicness? Classicality.
You want to crack on with the criteria?
Yeah. So it needs to have... Wait, what was it? Longevity? It needs to be lengthy.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, long.
I've forgotten the things.
Yeah.
It needs to be long.
Yeah.
It definitely has that, right?
2001? Yeah.
I mean, it was made in the...
Yeah.
60s, 70s?
60s, yeah.
It needs to be... I can't remember the criteria, Carl. No, I haven't got it.
It needs to have...
Girthy.
Girthy, broad appeal, yeah.
Does it have broad appeal? I mean, it's been...
I don't think it does.
Reference, is that where it's falling?
I don't think it does. Because I think you show this to cinephiles and film critics and then lap it up.
It's definitely penetrated, though.
Yes, because it has left a mark on
Indelible
things like
mark
The
on
Simpsons
things.
and all the rest of it. So yes, it has penetration. I don't think it has broad appeal. Because there's a subset of people that will watch it and really, really like it. And the rest of the people either haven't seen it or will have watched it and gone, fuck me, that was boring. What's that all about?
Fair enough.
So
So
that's where it falls
you're
down for me.
comfortable leaving it out still.
It's our list. It's not IMDb's. Fuck 'em.
Okay, which brings us on to, have you got a new submission for us?
Yeah, now, first of all, I've got 3 new submissions.
Don't do them all the 3 at once. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, we've stopped doing them for the
shoot our
regular
load all at
episodes. So, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I've actually got 4 because
God damn
I was
it.
sort of wondering which way to go on one, but I'm only going to say one of those. My first is an apology. Apology to Johnny, friend of the pod.
Mm.
He suggested Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And we, primarily I,
Yes.
went no. Because Mission Impossible as a franchise...
Yeah, and you were like, it's not even the best one.
Has stuck... No, I didn't. Whoa, I did not say that. I said it is the best one. But the general public at large are fucking idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. So...
Have to rewind the tape on that one.
Yeah. Well, you should. I'm confident that I've always maintained that is the best film. Yes, Mission Impossible, the franchise, is a classic. It's endearingly popular. It's got broad appeal. It ticks all the criteria. But not because of that film, but because of all the sequels. And probably, honestly, in particular, the Christopher McQuarrie incarnations. And then I rewatched Mission Impossible, and I went, fuck me, this is great. Right? And as I said, I've always been my favourite, but it's better than I remembered. And you've got things like, and I think you said this at the time, the
Dangling.
suspension set piece, the dangling, absolutely
Theme song.
iconic.
Tune.
Even theme song, I don't think you can take because that's existing IP. Even like the death at the top of the list, at top of the lift, with it jabbing into his head and all the rest of it. Like, oh, remember that. And then I looked at the box office. It performed brilliantly at the box office. That film. It even outstripped some of the sequels.
Ooh.
So my sort of previous opposition to it, based on, was it really that one? Did it have the broad appeal? We know it's hung around, but yeah, it totally has. It ticks all the boxes. So, sorry, Johnny, Mission Impossible.
Say it correctly.
Mission : Impossible
Thank you.
is in.
All right, there we go. That's the first new addition. So what was one of your other 3?
Finding Nemo.
Ooh, Pixar. Okay, I like it. Have we got any
Nemo.
Pixar in the minute?
We've got Toy Story in.
Wall-E?
We haven't suggested Wall-E yet. We haven't suggested Wall-E.
Well,
We've got Toy Story.
just Toy Story. That's the lone Pixar that we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It is the lone one that we've got. Okay, so Finding Nemo. So Finding Nemo would be your second Pixar choice, you think, for that one? Go on, sell me on Finding Nemo. Not that I'm not sold. I just want you to go through the movies.
So, I mean, not that this is necessarily the mark of a film, but it was popular enough to get a sequel, which I suppose
I mean, come on.
I suppose must speak to its
Ice
box
Age.
office a little bit, right? But I think there's a bit of quotable stuff going in there. You know, the seagulls, mine.
Yeah, it's good. Yep.
I also quite enjoy doing the my bubbles. No, remember that? Claude cleaning the tank.
Crab? No, shrimp.
Yeah. Claude cleaning the tank. There's Claude, and he comes out. And goes, you get the French accordion music.
It's a very good film.
Oui, she is clean. It's all there, you know. Some fantastic voice performances, a really good story. Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at the box office. I bet it's really popular.
I bet it did really well because the sequel followed quite quickly, which for Pixar, who didn't do sequels, really...
The sequel followed quite quickly. Is that right?
Did it not?
I think you might be a bit out on that. Although I might be mixing up Monsters, Inc. and Monsters University.
I mean, just a quick 13 years apart, Carl.
A quick... yeah, there we go. Right, thank you. I don't know. Look, it's there. Argue against it if you want. Finding Nemo ticks the boxes for me. Who doesn't like Finding Nemo, for God's sake?
The only thing I think it's falling down on, right, is its penetration in terms of classic lines and how it's referenced or things like that, which I can't remember the last time someone spoke to me about a Finding Nemo line. The one thing that I will say is mine. I do say that every time.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, there you go.
So,
do you never just walk into an aquarium and go, "Oh, let's name the species, the species, the species, let's name the species of the ocean"? I don't even know if that's the line, but that's the song. No?
No.
I do that literally every time we walk past a tank.
Wow. Is that why you're banned from the deep? Finding Nemo. I'm going to come back. Can I come back to that?
Yeah, okay, right. We'll put a pin in it.
Come back to it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not in. I want to consider it for a second. Give me your another one, and then I'll do mine, and then we'll come back to your third.
The Usual Suspects.
Haven't seen it for a while. It is good though. Yeah, and it's got the whole reveal, Kaiser Soze.
Yeah. Kaiser Soze
part to it. Yeah. Sell me on its performance. How was it box office-y?
Well? I don't know, actually, to be fair.
Okay. Well, tell me on something you have written down then.
My mum likes it.
Your mum likes it.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Yeah.
So, you know, it's a broad appeal.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Well, there we go. I mean, you like it and your mum likes it.
And it's my podcast. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm just looking back when I rated it. I rated it 4 out of 5 back when I originally watched it. I've not seen it for a long time. I'm not saying it's not in. Again, I feel like number 46, 250, top 250 of all time at the moment. I'm just looking at the...
Number 4, yeah, there you go. I mean...
It had a $6 million budget and made $645 million. So it's just scraping a profit.
Yeah, I think it might perform quite at the box office.
Wait, no, that's not right. No, it's open. I can't read numbers. Its opening was 645,000. Gross worldwide.
That's very different.
23 million.
Yeah. I mean,
I was going to say I was surprised at 645 million. That sounded quite large. 23 million. I don't know. Usual suspects. Okay. What's your third one?
Oh no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing another one now.
Oh, really? Oh, I've upset you.
No. I mean, I was only ever going to do 3 of these 4. Is my point.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, my one, and I'm going to come back to those 2 to see if.
Also, fuck you.
What?
Condescension in your voice.
I have 3 modes, Carl. Condescension is one of them.
Okay.
So my one, I've already mentioned it today as one I might educate Theo with. Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery.
Okay, right. It's an interesting one. I like it. I like it as a suggestion. This is good. This is what the Movie the Needle Classics collection was invented for.
3-point turn, referencing.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
$1 billion, $1 million,
yeah.
$1 million, whichever one it is in that one, I can't remember.
Yeah, Dr. Evil's a pretty iconic character, isn't he? Yeah, I like it.
We've got fembots.
Yeah. I like it, And can you think of a better James Bond parody? I can't.
No.
It certainly isn't Casino Royale 1967. Yeah, no, I'm in. Yeah.
We're good?
Yeah, I think that ticks all the boxes.
All right, so we're saying Austin Powers in, Mission Impossible, Mission: Impossible in, Finding Nemo. I can't not put Finding Nemo. What's not to like about Finding Nemo?
I thought Finding Nemo was a home run.
Finding Nemo's in. Usual Suspect. I'm going to wait for that for a rewatch. I'm going to rewatch that.
Okay.
I think it's probably going to be in.
Yeah,
but
we'll put a pin in that one.
I'm going to put a pin in that one, and then we'll come back to that. So there we go. 3 new additions to the Classics collection. Carl, talk to me about hybrids.
Yes, well, we've had a bit of feedback on the hybrids.
Yes.
Will has got so many shout-outs this
I know, right? It's basically his pod.
Yeah. I mean, what it really needs is for other people to send stuff in.
Well, now we've got this format.
Yeah, so
people feel willing and able to.
So listen,
send things in.
I'll show my hand. I haven't got anything for you on hybrids because it takes some prep. We are not very well prepped for this episode for reasons. And yes, the actual detail of the hybrids discussion will have to wait for another pod. But taking some of Will's feedback, it was quite interesting. He did say he doesn't think we'll ever complete the pyramid. And I think this is because I have failed to state a detail, which I took as read, but I can see how you wouldn't. We don't have to use all of the pairings.
Kind of blank bricks.
No. So we've got a list of 10, 12 couplets, as Will called them so far. Yeah. So if we take 3 of those to form a pyramid, that is a pyramid. We don't need to take.
You're not using
all
a pyramid at
12.
all of them.
No, it doesn't matter. We're just trying to build a pyramid.
Because Will's suggestion was more a family tree, wasn't it?
Well, I'll come on to that. Right. So we could build a pyramid of one. Well, not one layer. That'd be one couplet,
line.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Build a pyramid of 2 layers, and then we could build another pyramid, or we could add on to our pyramid. We could add a 3rd layer. Would you go underneath, or would you come up the side? If you added another layer.
Oh, sorry.
So, you'd have one couplet at the top and then 2 underneath, and then you could go 3 underneath, or you could put a 3rd one on the 2nd row of 2, and then you could come up the side, and then you've got a flat top, and then you could put one on top after that. Which way would you go?
I'm going to be honest with you, Carl.
Yeah.
Visual thinking, not really my thing.
Right. Are you one of those people that doesn't have an internal monologue? Do you know about that?
An internal monologue?
Yeah.
No, I do have an internal monologue.
So you do, you can hear a voice in your head when you're, say, reading a book or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Because similarly, some people, can't, if you think of an apple, they don't see an apple.
I just really struggle to visualize something that's explained poorly. That's where my weakness is.
That's fine. Well, that's consigned us to another 10 minutes of this, right? So you've got one couplet at the top forming the peak of the pyramid.
Top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Underneath that, because it's a pyramid, there must be more than one, so there's 2.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll call that the second layer.
2 couplets.
Yeah. We'll call that the second layer. If we were going to add a 3rd layer, would you start at the 3rd layer and put 3 new couplets underneath?
So you're saying 3rd layer is going down here?
Or would you start, say, on the right-hand side?
Build a... Yeah.
Go up the side. And this was
all... You can do both. You can do either. That's fine.
Yeah, you can do either. But it was a little throwaway thing. I was saying, would you come from behind, come underneath, or come up the side?
I missed the come from behind bit.
Well, I didn't say behind. I should have said behind. I said underneath. Well, would you come from underneath, or would you come up the side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, that was worth it. I'm glad about that. Yeah. So will we complete the pyramid? Yes, we absolutely will. And in fact, we already have.
We'll complete a pyramid.
We already have. We have a 2-layered one, so we will get to more. We don't have to use them all. Will also says, what happens if a better couplet comes along later? That's an easy one. what happens is we let the regret eat away at our very beings. We question every opinion that we've ever held dear.
Sure.
Drink to numb the pain. And then we crack on with the pyramid in a bid to bury the god-awful original hybrid that we came up with as deep as possible.
So we largely do the same thing we've been doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's I'm not worried about that at all.
Awesome.
We've got a coping mechanism in play, literally inbuilt into the pod for that.
Yeah, it's called Big.
So the big incestuous family tree.
Yes.
I'm intrigued by this.
Yeah.
Now, we might pivot to this at some point, or we might do it alongside.
Well, it can be a connection of pyramids that form a family tree, right?
There's
What is
an angle.
the collective noun for pyramids?
Don't know. We should look that up. So yeah, we might pivot back to that. That's intriguing. I do like the rules idea though that he introduced.
I want to come back to briefly the big incestuous family tree, just to say that we've got to call it the big incestuous family tree.
If you like, yeah, okay.
Carry on. The rules, go on.
Yeah, I like the rules idea, because can you really have a film that's a product of another if that film is older than the film that's a product of?
Do you want to know where I stand on this? Stop creating rules that make life harder for me.
Well, I did sort of have that down. It's like, what was the purpose of the pyramid? Is it to show influences of films, and so the top of the pyramid is a product of all of those underneath it, according to Movie the Needle? Or is it just a meaningless game to try and make a satisfying shape? I don't know.
Definitely the second.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So some hybrid chat without actually proposing any new hybrids. I'm spent.
But what will happen here, and Carl has committed, is he will actually at least pull one of these pyramids that he says is complete together into a visual that we can share on socials.
Yeah, I will eventually do that. We have already mentioned the completed pyramid.
Because I genuinely thought, same as Will, that this was one giant pyramid that we were building. So I was like, fair enough, that is going to be quite difficult.
Yeah, that's impossible.
Now you've done it this way. It's just like, why is it taking you so long to pull this together? This is very easy.
Because I'm trying to display the sort of links and also here's all the other options we've got in a sort of... So I want to present it in a way someone can look at it and go, oh, I can propose some fill in the blanks in here.
Gotcha.
And rather than just go, yeah, mate, here's the 2 layers of films that we've knitted together already. Because that is an easy job.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Good, right, I'm out.
We got anything else, Carl?
Nope.
Okay, then that is all we've got. So if we move the needle for you this week, or even if we didn't, please do rate us, follow, subscribe, and give us a 5-star review wherever you are listening. It really does make the algorithm wish they hadn't started doing the stupid end bit that makes them struggle to come up with something different every single week for no good reason, and gets out there to a larger, verbose audience. Our Bluesky, Instagram and Twitter is MTN MoviePod. Our YouTube channel is at Movie the Needle. You can also find our page on Facebook and some occasional TikToks at movie.the.needle. All details are in the show description, so please follow and comment wherever you are. So for me and Carl, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
Join us next week as we discuss The Big Short and we see whether we can movie the needle for each other. And yes, I realise I already used this for Moulin Rouge, but I got the order of episodes wrong. Okay, so sue me. Okay, please don't sue me. I have nothing you want anyway. Okay, nothing I'm willing to give up, or nothing I'm willing to give up that you would want, which I'm pretty sure is how suing works. Okay? Goodbye.